Good morning, it's today again. Welcome back to Joseph's Reserves. I'm Joseph and I store 20% of my income in the form of rare coins and precious metals. Most beginners get into silver backwards. They don't start with the cheapest, most liquid, or most widely accepted form of silver. They start with the most interesting looking one. Limited coins, proof sets, special editions, collectible silver. And then months later they realize something frustrating. They didn't actually build a silver position, they built a collection. There's nothing wrong with a collection, but it's not the same thing. Because when you strip everything down, the silver market has one simple reality. Some silver behaves like money, and some silver behaves like collectibles. And beginners almost always start with the wrong one. So in this video, I'm going to show you why generic silver is the best starting point for most people and how it fits the broader idea of bullion and what actually matters when you're trying to build a solid position in physical silver. Congratulations to South Haven Coins and Bullion for being the first to comment on yesterday's video. Thank you for the support. Y'all go down into the comments to find him and support his channel. When new stackers hear precious metals, they tend to imagine a lot of complexity. Different coins, different countries, different designs, different premiums, different stories attached to every single piece. But the reality is much simpler once you step into the actual market. Silver is priced on two things: the weight and purity, and everything else is secondary. And that creates two very different ways of owning silver. One is efficient, liquid, and close to the metal value, and the other introduces premiums, collector demand, and variability in price behavior. Beginners usually don't realize that they're choosing between those two paths when they buy their first piece. So before we talk about what to buy, we need a simple baseline. What actually makes silver standard in the market? And that's where the concept of bullion comes in. Bullion just means silver that is valued primarily for its metal content, and that's it. No rarity, not design, not collector demand. Just how much it weighs, how pure it is, and whether the market can recognize it instantly. And that last part is one of the most important parts that people miss. Because in the real world, silver isn't just about what it is, it's about how easily someone can verify what it is. So when a dealer or buyer evaluates silver, they're looking for two basic confirmations. The weight. How many ounces is it? The common examples are 1 ounce, 5 ounce, 10 ounce, or even 100 ounces. And then the purity. How much of this weight is actual silver? Usually what you're wanting is 3/9 fine silver, or sometimes you can get a 4/9 fine silver. That 3/9 or 4/9 refers to 99.9% pure or 99.99% pure. If those two things are clearly stamped and recognized, then the silver will move quickly in the market. If they aren't, everything slows down. A lot more testing is required, discounts show up, and suddenly they're no longer treated as standard bullion. It's treated more like a scrap metal or an unknown metal, and that difference matters a lot, even if the silver is real. And here is where some beginners usually get tripped up. They assume that all silver is equal as long as it is real, but in practice the market doesn't treat it that way, because liquidity matters. And liquidity is based on confidence and speed. How fast can it be priced? How fast can it be verified? And how fast can it be resold? Generic silver performs the best in all three of these categories, but you do have to make sure that it is stamped and marked. There are a lot of generic coins out there that are pure silver. They are 1 ounce of silver or easily weighed as 20 grams or whatever it might be. And even though they are pure silver, they might not be treated as pure silver just because they are not marked. Generic silver is the simplest form of modern bullion. It usually means 1 ounce silver rounds, 10 ounce silver bars, 100 ounce silver bars. They are 3/9 fine and have no collectible premium. There's no special editions, no limited mintage story, no numismatic pricing that's layered into what it's priced. Just the silver. And that simplicity is exactly why it matters. Now that I've laid out the foundation of generic silver and what to look for, here is the core of the video. There are 5 major reasons generic silver is the best starting point for a new stacker. It's the lowest cost per ounce. When you're buying generic silver, you're usually paying the closest price to actually spot silver that you're going to find for pure silver. That means that you're getting more metal for your money. There's less of a collector tax, if you will, built into the price. For beginners, this matters the most, more than anything else, because the goal early is accumulation, not optimization. The second is you can maximize liquidity. Generic silver is the easiest silver to sell. Any dealer can understand it instantly. There's no explanation, no grading, no confusion. It's universally recognized as standard bullion, and that makes it very close to how money behaves. Number 3, generic silver teaches you the real market. This is underrated. When you buy generic silver, you start seeing the spot price movements, the dealer spreads, and the buy versus the sell price gaps, all without being distracted by collector premiums. You're learning how silver is actually traded. Number 4, there's no illusion of value, and this is a big one. Collectible silver often creates this illusion that there's going to be a value that goes faster than the silver spot price. While premiums do expand and contract, you're usually not going to be able to pay for something just slightly above a silver price and have that amount expand quite a whole lot. With generic silver, the price is honest, it's tracked by the metal value very closely, and there's less emotional distortion. It forces some clarity. Lastly, generic silver builds a foundation. Once you understand generic silver, everything else becomes a lot easier to evaluate. The sovereign coins, semi-numismatic, proof sets, and collectibles, because you understand how the silver value moves in them, you can start to understand how premiums can add on to that. So all of that being said, bullion is just the category that allows silver to function smoothly in the market. Bullion exists so that silver can be standardized, quickly priced, and easily exchanged. That's why modern bullion is almost always stamped with the weight and purity, because without these two things, silver stops behaving like a standardized asset and starts behaving like something that needs some interpretation. Most beginners don't realize that they're making decisions. They think they're just buying silver, but in reality, they're trying to choose between option A, simple bullion generic silver with low premium, high liquidity, and easily understood, when there's option B, collectible silver with higher premiums, variable resale value, and it depends on the demand cycles. Neither is wrong, but one is ideal for learning the market, and that is where I suggest that beginners should start. At its core, generic silver works because it removes everything unnecessary. No branding pressure, no collector narrative, no emotional pricing layer, just weight, purity, and market recognition. That simplicity is what makes it a powerful tool for building a position. Because you're not guessing, you're just accumulating the metal. If you zoom out far enough, silver ownership is really about one thing. How easily can you convert what you hold back into something you can spend? Generic silver answers that question better than almost anything else on the market. And I get it, generic silver isn't exciting, but that's exactly it. It's not exciting. And for beginners, that's the advantage. You don't need a complexity at the start. You just need clarity. If you're just getting into silver, the temptation is always to start with the most interesting pieces, the collector sets or American Silver Eagles. But the better approach is to start with the most efficient ones. Generic silver gives you the clean pricing, easy liquidity, and the direct connection to the metal itself. Once you understand how it behaves, everything else in the silver world will be easier to evaluate. Because soon you won't just be stacking silver, you're going to understand it. I just made my own line of coffee. Joseph's Reserves It's Today Again coffee is now available on josephsreserves.com. Every morning is a gift. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, today. It's Today Again is a reminder that God has given us this day once more with new mercy, new opportunity, and real work to be done. It's the moment to show up, build good habits, and take hold of what's been placed in front of us. Whether it's putting in the work, staying disciplined, saving consistently, or simply choosing to be faithful in the small things, today is where it starts. Encourage one another daily as long as it is called today. Hebrews 3:13. So, take a breath, take a sip, and let's get to work. It's Today Again. You can now write me at Joseph's Reserves, 10160 Highway 242, Suite 800, number 401 in Conroe, Texas, zip code 77385. Make sure to include your information so I can write you back. If you like today's video, go down and hit the like button. Go into the comment section for any questions or comments about this topic. If you know anyone that would like this video, please share it and subscribe if you haven't already. But most of all, thank you so much for watching. And just remember, every ounce adds up. So no matter how small, just keep stacking.